one tournament, one man, and a performance so electric that even after everything that happened, the injury, the tears, the stretcher, Brazil still called his name. If you're a Neymar fan or just someone who appreciates the most ridiculous football skills ever put on a World Cup stage, subscribe right now. Hit the bell, because we break down the moments that highlights skip over. Setting the stage. Brazil, home soil. You want to talk about pressure? Imagine being the face of the most football-obsessed nation on the planet. Imagine carrying the weight of 200 million people on your shoulders every single time you step onto that pitch. Imagine being compared every single day to Pelé, to Ronaldo, to legends who define generations. That was Neymar Jr. at the 2014 World Cup, 22 years old, playing at home, in Brazil, at the Maracanã, with the entire country treating him not just like a footballer, but like a messiah. And here's the thing. He didn't run from that pressure. He ran straight into it. From the very first game, Neymar made it clear this was his tournament, his stage, his moment. And what he produced over those few weeks of football was honestly some of the most jaw-dropping individual skill we have ever seen at a World Cup. We're talking goals. We're talking dribbles. We're talking showboating, so clean it made defenders look like they were standing in quicksand. So let's go through it properly, because this performance deserves more than a 2-minute highlight reel. The skills that broke the internet. Let's start with the dribbling. Because, honestly, Neymar's footwork at this tournament was operating on a completely different frequency than everyone else. Watch any of his group stage games, and you'll see it immediately. The way he received the ball, already scanning, already 2 moves ahead. His first touch is like a chess player placing a piece. Calculated, precise, and then suddenly explosive. The elastico, the step over. The body feint that sends a defender completely the wrong way. Neymar was cycling through his entire trick bag at a World Cup. Not a friendly, not a club game, a World Cup. And defenders had absolutely zero answers. What made it even more ridiculous was the context. These aren't League One defenders. These are international level players. Trained professionals. And Neymar was nutmegging them, spinning past them, leaving them on the floor like it was a skills challenge in training. There's one particular run against Cameroon. He picks the ball up wide, shifts inside, drops his shoulder once, twice, and then just glides past 2 players like they're traffic cones. No urgency, no panic, pure arrogance. And I mean that in the best possible way. That's the thing about Neymar's skill at this tournament. It wasn't just effective. It was stylish. It was done with this absolute confidence that said, I know I'm going to beat you before I even start. Stay with us, because the goals, we haven't even gotten there yet. And there's one in particular that needs its own moment. 4 goals. 4 goals at a home World Cup from a 22-year-old carrying his entire nation. Let's talk about them one by one. Goal 1, Croatia. Opening game. Home crowd going absolutely berserk. Pressure at maximum. And Neymar scores a penalty. Fine. But then follows it up with a second goal that is pure instinct. Ball comes in. He takes it first time. It deflects slightly, and he adjusts mid-strike to curl it into the corner. At a World Cup opener. At home. The crowd eruption is something else entirely. The Cameroon goal. This is the one. This is the one people forget about when they talk about great World Cup goals, and they absolutely should not. He received the ball on the edge of the box, lets it drop, and hits it. First time, full volley, bending away from the keeper, into the top corner. Text, book. Neymar's celebration after that goal was him just screaming into the sky, because even he knew what he'd just done. Chile, penalties. He doesn't just score a penalty in a penalty shootout to send Brazil through. He scores it and immediately runs to his teammates like a man who had absolutely no doubt. The ice in that moment from a 22-year-old is unreal. And through all of it, the goals, the assists, the creativity, there's this constant thread of showboating that is uniquely Neymar. The little flicks, the rainbow attempts, the moments where he could have done the simple thing and just didn't. Because why be simple when you can be spectacular? The showboating. Let's talk about the showboating specifically, because this is a part that divided people. And honestly, it shouldn't have. Some pundits at the time criticized Neymar for being too flashy, too showy, doing too much when a simpler pass was available. And to those pundits I say, you completely missed the point. Neymar's showboating at the 2014 World Cup wasn't ego. It was strategy. It was psychological warfare. When he flicks the ball over someone's head in the middle of a World Cup game, that defender is now thinking about it. He's embarrassed. He's frustrated. He starts making decisions based on emotion rather than positioning. And that is exactly where Neymar wants you. There's a moment against Mexico where he receives a ball under pressure, rolls it behind his standing leg, and turns a defender 180 degrees. It achieves nothing technically. The ball ends up going square, but that defender spent the next 10 minutes trying to foul him instead of defending properly. That's the genius of it. The skill isn't just for the highlight reel. The skill is a weapon. And in front of a home crowd, that showboating becomes fuel. Every trick, every flick, every rainbow attempt got the Americana louder. And a louder crowd means more energy. More energy means more pressure on opposition. It's a cycle, and Neymar understood it perfectly. Keep watching, because what happened next changed everything. And it's something Brazil hasn't recovered from since. The injury. The moment it all changed. And then, Colombia. Quarterfinal. Neymar is brilliant again. Brazil are through. And then in the dying minutes, a knee from Juan Zuniga straight into Neymar's spine. He goes down immediately. Doesn't get up. Stretchered off. And the look on his face, not pain, not anger, it's pure devastation. Because he knows. He already knows. Fractured vertebra. Tournament over. And when the news broke, Brazil didn't just lose their best player. They lost their heartbeat, their identity, their confidence. The entire team's body language shifted overnight. We all know what happened next. Germany. 7-1, the mini Razzo, one of the darkest days in Brazilian football history. Now, I'm not saying Neymar would have stopped 7 goals. Football doesn't work like that. But watch Brazil in that semifinal and tell me that's the same team that was playing when Neymar was on the pitch. The creativity is gone. The unpredictability is gone. The moments of individual brilliance that could change a game in an instant, gone. He watched that Germany game from a hospital bed, in his own country, in tears. If you want to understand how important Neymar was to that Brazil squad, that game is the answer. The legacy of his 2014 World Cup. So when we look back at Neymar's 2014 World Cup, what do we actually say? Tournament top scorer for Brazil. Most dribbles completed in the competition. Man of the match performances. Goals that will be replayed for decades. And a performance level that, honestly, was on pace to be remembered as one of the greatest individual World Cup campaigns ever. The injury robbed him of the ending, and it robbed us of finding out just how far he could have taken it. But here's what I want you to take from this video. Neymar at the 2014 World Cup was 22 years old and playing the best football of his life on the biggest stage in the world, in front of his own people. And he delivered, completely, fully, without hesitation. The goals were world-class. The dribbling was generational. The showboating was calculated brilliance. And the heart was undeniable. He didn't fail Brazil in 2014. A knee to the spine failed Brazil in 2014. And that difference matters. Neymar Jr. World Cup 2014. 4 goals, countless dribbles, moments of skill that had no business being at a World Cup, and a campaign cut short by injury that still, to this day, feels like unfinished business. The crown emoji next to his name isn't a meme. It's a reminder of what this man was capable of when everything aligned. Drop a comment. If Neymar stays fit in 2014, does Brazil win the World Cup? I genuinely want to know what you think. Thumbs up like the video if you felt that. Bell subscribe. More breakdowns like this every week. See you in the next one.